let me just correct, it's not dissolving of Hamas. It's actually the resignation of the chief of the emergency committee, which has Mr. Ismail Thawabta, which has been established um, in 2023 during the war in order to carry the responsibility of ordinary people. Unfortunately, the world did not respond to the democracy, and we have emerged victorious in 2006 in a they did not situation for a single day. Then we proceeded, unfortunately, to be besieged by the Israeli forces, and with the blessing of the American administrations then until today. And then when the Israeli aggression continued on Gaza, of course, you need to proceed further to run the situation of the people. So we have improvised a tool over there known by the Emergency Committee, not the government, because in 2011, the martyr Ismail Haniya, who is the prime minister then of Palestine, has put his resignation again in order to diffuse any pretext for anyone who is claiming that Hamas is in authority, Hamas so-called terrorists, and they don't want to deal with them. So the most popular personality among the Palestinian, that was Shaheed Ismail Haniya, put his resignation and gave it to the world. Now you come and run the situation over there. We have called our brothers also in the West Bank, head by President Mahmoud Abbas, to come on their own show, to run the show. We have called the mediators like the Egyptian brothers to come and mediate over there. But unfortunately, Israel waged more than 4 aggressions against us, as if they are punishing our people for their own democratic free will to choose Hamas to be their own representatives. In the 2023 situation, we have formed an emergency committee to run the affairs of the people, humanitarian aspects, the ministries, the daily routines of the livings of the people. And then there was the President Trump peace plan, head now by His Excellency Mladenov. Mladenov is totally today biased in his narrative, and he is saying explicitly in every meeting that I have come from the office of Netanyahu, so I am coming here with the all order of Netanyahu himself. So you can imagine how much we are having real choices to proceed with the diplomatic or political efforts. So everybody is talking about Hamas. They should be disarmed. Hamas should they put their weapons. See, the thing which is to be clear to everybody, that this is part of a full package which has been signed at Sharm el-Sheikh through the Egyptian, Qataris, Turkish, and the international institutions, mediations, that there is a big plan and it has a first part. The first part of that plan has never been implemented. So why we insist always to put the cart in front of the horse and proceed from the back, the second stage or third stage. The first stage, Israeli forces still in Gaza. They did not withdraw even to the yellow line or the so-called, now they have orange line. Imagine how arrogant they are. Second, they did not open the borders. We don't have free influx of the humanitarian aids like food, like water. Third, they did not allow the rebuilding materials to get into the Gaza Strip. So claiming that we should start with Hamas disarmament, which tells you that it's not the situation that it's with Hamas arms only. It's that the mentality of the extremist, rightist, religious leadership in Israel today, like Ibn Gvir, like Smotrich, those who do not consider us even a human, and they want to proceed just only with Israel, and nobody else has a right to live. Today, we have put forward a suggestion that this emergency committee has resolved itself. And then there is something called a Palestinian National Committee, has been formed by mediators and Mladinov Board of Peace, head by Dr. Ali Shaath. These are technocrat personalities. They have to get into Gaza to run the situation. Unfortunately, it's been months now since that committee has been formed, but Israelis are not allowing them. So what we have said simply, if the whole issue is that Hamas is in that emergency committee, we are putting the resignation of our gentleman over here, and you get forward and you come forward and lead. But unfortunately, at that moment, even when we have announced this thing, Netanyahu has rejected this proposal, and he has insisted that the starting point is the disarmament of Hamas, which is irrational, which is absolutely against the whole plan of President Trump. Well, if you want to insist on that, then let us discuss something other than what's so-called the peace plan, which has been signed by everybody, and it has also an article in the Security Council of United Nations.
So can the proposed technocratic committee function while Israeli military operations continue? What is your assessment?
This Palestinian National Committee is not a proposal of a party. It's not a proposal of any political forces. It's a proposal which has been endorsed. It's a proposal of Egyptian brothers, mediators, which has been appreciated by everybody, has been appreciated by President Trump himself, has been endorsed by Mladinov, the head of the Board of Peace. But unfortunately, as usual, we have it's our experience today, been years today with the Israeli behaviors. For this reason, 7th of October has happened, because the whole political, diplomatic, marathonic talks has failed to guarantee the implementing of the agreements, to guarantee the return of the legitimate rights of our people. Well, let's hope for the best. For us, with open hearts, we have welcomed this committee. We've endorsed this committee. We participated actually in nominating the names over there, provided that this is a Palestinian consensus. It's not Hamas only. It's the other Palestinian factions who has welcomed this committee. So as again and again, I'm saying, come forward and proceed for the betterment of the common man in the street who is not having even a drop of water to live. The families today is not only afraid from the genocide and from the war. You can imagine what is the situation of the people. The mother in the morning wake up inside a tent and found that a 1 month neonate or infant has his cheek has been bitten by a mouse. So we don't have pesticides, we don't have basics over there. So it's a rule of these crimes perpetrated by Israeli armies, with the minimal needs of a viable, dignitarious life, which is required over here, away from political polarities, away from Hamas and other political parties. Allow the normal people who has been living in a very condensed strip of 365 square kilometers, which has been already divided today into many zones, as has been known to everybody. Today, more than 2.2 million Palestinians living in less than 30% of the whole area of Gaza. So you can imagine how disastrous we are living in.
So, Mr. Qadomi, Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz has described the devastation in Gaza as a good feeling. Can we say that his remarks reflect the Israeli government's official policy toward Gaza?
Well, as I told you, today the major issue which we are suffering as Palestinian is the type of the leadership in Israel. Fanatic, extremist, obsessed by an obsolete interpretation of the so-called Holy Script of Talmud. all of us in this world called goyim by them. They are human and we are something else. Even not animals. And we deserve to be crushed. We deserve to be killed. We deserve to be burned. Hundreds, since the ceasefire, this Katz, who is so proud that he is killing our children, hundreds of our children has been slain with cold blood since the ceasefire. More than 1,015, even more than this. These data for the last 2-3 days. More than 1,015 martyrs we have they have been killed with cold blood in their tents, in the refugee camps. They have changed their tent 3-4 times for the last 1 or 2 years. They have migrated from their areas from north to south, from south to east, from east to the shore of the sea, in order just only to enjoy some security. They are good people who are very, who used to live their own life, well, under the siege, but still they are dignitarious. They have not been granted this thing. The leadership in Israel today, they are not even interested in implementing the peace plan of President Trump. They want to encash our blood in their own elections. They want to come forward. Look at the, yes, all of us have seen how Netanyahu's popularity has declined, but still we have an extremist rightist society in Israel today that they will vote for the one who kills more Palestinian. This is the predicament we are facing over here. You're talking about Katz. How good is he feeling that he has destroyed our people, and he is regretting that he has left some children which they are not killed till today. Yes, you're right. We are suffering such a leadership in Israel that they are not capable to consider or maybe to comprehend what is the meaning of peace and how to pay the tax of that peace.
Do you think there has been any change in Israeli policy toward Gaza and the Palestinian territories? And has the Gaza peace deal progressed to any further stages?
Well, unfortunately, with the passage of time, we are incurring more adamant and arrogant, rogue state attitude in Israel. And why? Simply because the American administration is not implying enough pressure on the Netanyahu government to abide by the deal they have signed, a deal which has been proposed by President Trump, and today, unfortunately, we ended nowhere. We ended with more killing, we ended with a vicious cycle, and Israel still having the whole blessing of the American administration. I say that the international community today, the mediators today, they have seen all realities. They have seen all ground realities. There is no chance but to blame, pressure the Israeli government to abide by the plan, leave Gaza Strip, open the borders, allow the Palestinian to run their affairs their own way through the technocrat government, which they will be doing the rebuilding, which they will be going for the election, and we will go for something called democracy. That is the choice of every peaceful nation in this world. We are the only nation in the world after the Second World War who are not granted, who has never been granted this choice. We are the only nation who are living in their own sovereign state called Palestine since 20s, since the beginning of the century, but we are not allowed to have our own choice for self-determination and the right to self-determination. This is the type of the Israeli leadership we are facing, unfortunately, over there.
So, Dr. Qadomi, now, is malnutrition still a widespread concern, given that Israel is allowing only very limited aid into Gaza? And how are humanitarian organizations monitoring the situation?
Yes. Well, see, according to the data, which is being produced by different humanitarian agencies in Gaza, working on the ground, they are daily saying that the people, the children, especially newborns and the infants, they are dying because they don't have the complete formula of diet. So the malnutrition is increased. We have hundreds of children who are dying or passing away in the ICU. They don't have good oxygenation. They don't have the nursing procedures inside the hospitals. Incubators are not functioning. Electricity is not there. Everywhere is polluted because of the chemicals being thrown by the Israeli forces through the internationally banned weapons over there. We are incurred a lot of the cancer cases over there because the water is polluted, the sand is polluted, the air is polluted because of the Israeli arms being thrown against the Palestinian. When we talk about the 700 trucks which has been agreed upon of food and others, you will be surprised to know that it's just a few tens of trucks are allowed. Total 50 trucks is coming. 20 of them are free on donation, 30 are business, and the remaining 700, which is less than the minimal requirement of our people, even under the siege, which we need more than 1,500 trucks a day. So this is how our people in Gaza are living under the siege, under the war, under a crisis which has been made by man, by criminal man in Israel against our people who just looking for their own legitimate right, and they wanted to live as peaceful as any peaceful nation in the world.